welcome back to Be Still and Know, a new blog still that's based on Psalm 46:10, which says, "Be still and know that I am God. I'll be exalted among the nations, I'll be exalted among the earth." Purpose here is to study into what stillness means and what Psalm 46 means and what it means to be still and know God. Last time we talked about what it means to be still because our minds just go back and forth. They're always worried about the past, the future, never worried about what's going on right now. So what can happen, what happened. So we're going to talk about that. And in the process of doing that, we're going to also talk about the last bit of that sentence, what it means to know God. And what do we know about God? Other than he's maybe a old guy sitting on a throne with long white hair and a robe. Maybe he's a God of fire and brimstone and anger like the Old Testament. But the Bible's clear on different areas on what God is and what he does. And we're going to look at that. In 1 John chapter 4, verse 7, it says, "Beloved, let us love one another, because love is from God. Everyone who loves is born of God and knows God. Whoever does not love does not know God, for God is love." Now, God is love. In that context, love is unconditional love. Love of a parent for a child. Love of a child back for a parent. Something that should be innate and born in us, that we care for each other, our family, so much that we do anything for them. There's no questions asked. He would do anything for us. He sent his only son to the cross for us, to relieve us of our sins and to get us back into his presence. Okay, so we're going to take a look at what love is. In the love chapter, which is 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verses 4 through 7 is what we're going to look at. It tells us that love is patient and love is kind. It does not envy, it does not boast, and it is not proud. It does not dishonor others, and it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, and always preserves. Gives us a great picture of what love is. And if we go back to 1 John, that God is love, tells us that this is what love is. So if we look into Psalm 46:10 again, where it says, "Be still and know that I am God." It can also be, like I said earlier, "Be still and know that I am love." But for a longer version of it, you can say, "Be still and know that I am patient and kind. I am not envious and I do not boast. I am not prideful and I do not dishonor. I am not self-seeking and I am not easily angered. I keep no record of wrongs, and I do not delight in evil, but rejoice in the truth. I always protect, trust, hope, and I always preserve." So, when we look at it, that love is patient and love is kind, think about a parent and a child. Parents always going to be kind. Always make sure the child has what it needs. Food, clothing, shelter, you name it, parent's going to do that. Parent is patient. Will put up with an awful lot until something happens. If your child is acting out, you're going to be patient. You're going to try to reach them with loving kindness. Love is not prideful. It doesn't look to itself. It doesn't say, "Hey, look at me." Even to the point where it's just wants to be back in the shadows. Not the dark shadows, but doesn't like to be complimented. Will be shy, say, "Oh, it's okay, thank you." It won't dishonor you. Love's not going to say, talk behind your back and say, hey, look at what they're doing. I can't believe it's what they're doing. This is horrible. It is not self-seeking. It's not looking for that attention. It's not making a commotion to bring attention to itself. Sometimes I use the phrase that it's not the spoon that's stirring the pot, because there are times when individuals will do that. They're feeling down, they're feeling lost, they're not feeling loved, and they try to stir that pot to get the attention to them. It's not easily angered. Takes a step back, takes a deep breath, gets still, and looks at the situation differently. Says, okay, what can I do to change this? What do I need to do to make this work? It has no record of wrongs. Doesn't keep tally and score. Doesn't say, hey, last week you did this to me, so right now I can't do it. We have to find something to talk about that was in the past. Does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. That's kind of self-serving there. It says, I'm not going to look at something and see evil and say, hey, that's great. I'm also not going to find my own truth. There's only one truth, and that's the truth. So that's what we're going to look at, is the truth. And always protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. That again, that's a parent. It's going to protect you. It's going to have hope that you go on and do great things. It's going to trust you until that time when you have to sit them down, talk to them with some loving truth. And always perseveres, always is there for you, always wants to do good for you. And that's God. God will always be there for you, always do that for you. He is that definition. I know some of you out there haven't seen this side of me, but I do hold a master's in theology with a focus on teaching. I also have a bachelor's in the same area. It's something I was called to do and followed a path. I stopped the path of where I was going and changed paths. And it's been a blessing. But now is the time. I don't know why. I asked God, what can I do? And I heard clearly to start with the be still and know. This project has been going for probably 15 years, give or take a year or two. I've got a devotional that's dated way back to 2011. I know I'd done some more before that. It was what I taught when I was a pastor of a Christian high school, along with science and history. But it's something that's been there for a long time. And I finally got the word and the release from God to go ahead and do it. I never thought it would be on this format, but this is what he wanted me to do, and this is where we are. So I want you to remember, be still and know God, know his presence, know how to hear his voice. And remember, I know this sounds funny, but if you like this, subscribe, like, and share, because we're going to keep this going and see where it goes. This is a journey we all can take together. Thanks again.